Hi, good morning. We are reading Mystery of History, Volume 4, and today we are going to look at, I know we were on the scientists, but it's been a while because we took a little summer break, and now we're back for a few weeks, and then we will take a longer summer break. So what I want to do is kind of pick back up in the history book, Mystery of History, page 21, with Frederick II and the 7 Years' War. And then I just want to see if we can go back to the Science in the Age of Reason and just scan through, not really read in depth, but kind of scan through and see who the scientist was, a little bit about them, and what they discovered. Okay, so this is Mrs. Hobar talking. She says, I'm not a big fan of wars, but I have to admit that the 7 Years' War is a pretty interesting one. I say that because it included an all-star lineup of players. All-star lineup is if you're in sports. All-stars means all the players who play really excellently. It sprawled over more than one continent, and the results of it are still felt today. I didn't know that. You will want to pay close attention to the details because part of the 7 Years' Wars was the French and Indian War, which we will study in a few lessons. Since one war was really a part of the other, the whole thing can be messy and confusing, but I'll try to smooth it out for you. I need to begin by defining the mysterious country of Prussia. I say it's mysterious because it went off the map in 1947 and boggles the minds of students who try to find it. When it did exist, Prussia was at first a province in northern Poland. That means not a country, but an area that kind of, can't look up province because my phone is recording. But it means it's not a country. It's still under Poland, but I'm not sure if that means it governs itself or not.
So we don't know where Prussia is anymore?
Here, let's look on the map right here. She gave us a map. I want to see if it's on here. Prussia. There it is, right there. This little, I'm sorry, my finger has got Play-Doh on it. Frederick, it says this is called the map key or the legend. Right here, this little color with the stripes means Frederick II and his allies. Remember that? And his allies. Okay, sorry. This says, pardon that song interruption. So it looks like even up here in England and Scotland and Ireland, over here, what does that say? Hanover. I can't show it to you and read it. Brandenburg, Prussia. Okay, that says Brandenburg, which in parentheses says Prussia. I guess that's who controls those areas. And then Maria Theresa and her allies control these parts up in here. Russia, France, Spain. What is that? I don't know. Norway, maybe? I'm not sure. Austria over here. And then this says Saxony. Interesting.
Austria-Hungarian.
I don't know, Cruz. What was the song? Do you remember it?
It's during World War I, Great Britain, France, Russia were allies.
Oh, different song completely. Holy Roman Empire is outlined in red. So the Holy Roman Empire is this right here. This little section in the middle. Okay. Okay, so in 1618, Prussia was adopted by the small German state of Brandenburg, and the two later merged to become a new nation. This new nation, called Prussia, was about where Germany and Poland meet today, on the coast of the Baltic Sea. That's not so difficult, but a strip of land owned by Poland actually divided the regions of Brandenburg and Prussia, making the boundaries a challenge to maintain and the country difficult to find. Okay, so Chris, please go get the Earth map, because I want us to look on a little bit of a bigger map.
Aye, Captain.
All right, with that explanation behind us, we'll now move to the 7 Years' War. Okay, so it says Frederick II, or he's also called Frederick the Great. I'm wondering if Frederick labeled himself the Great. Caleb, that's too loud, babe. Okay, so she said, before we move on to Frederick the Great, let's just look. She said it's where, okay, so Prussia was right here. Here's Germany, Caleb. Here's Germany. Now here's us, way over here.
On the other side.
Washington, D.C. Way over here is Germany. She said Prussia was right here, kind of where Poland, there's Poland and Germany meet. So it was right here, but she said what made it difficult was there was a strip of land owned by Poland that divided the regions. Okay, I wonder if that's on the map. Oh, this right here, I think, is what. Okay, so it was hard to. So this little strip of land was owned by Poland. So it made it difficult because it was like, well, this is our country and this is our country too, but this is your country in the middle. So
it was hard work because you would be trespassing. If you had to get to your family on the other side, you couldn't.
Yeah. So it's very difficult to maintain a country when there's another country in the middle of your country, and you can't get to your country without going to through someone else's country. Okay, so let's start our story with Frederick II. Caleb, please don't lean on that. You're going to pop it. He became King of Prussia in 1740. He was a remarkable man of mixed interests. He loved music and philosophy, as well as the art of war. When given the opportunity to expand the small country of Prussia, he took it, even when it meant taking land from a young, fair-skinned, blue-eyed duchess with long, reddish blonde hair. You see, Frederick II wanted the territory that belonged to the 23-year-old Maria Theresa. She was the Duchess of Austria and the Empress of the Holy Roman Empire. Frederick fought 2 wars against this powerful monarch to win the area of Silesia, or maybe it's Silesia, a small region northeast of Austria that happened to border Prussia. Okay, where's Silesia? It says a small region northeast of Austria. Okay, there's Austria. Northeast. There it is. Okay, so he's winning this right here. You're not looking. Here's Silesia. So he's taking that from Maria Theresa. See that little light green part? Mm-hmm. He's taking that from Maria Theresa.
And actually,
here she is. Maria Theresa. Maria Theresa, not Theresia.
I see that land actually borders Poland. It's right by it.
Yes. All right, so Maria Theresa had inherited Silesia, that kind of rhymes, as a part of the Habsburg realm when she succeeded to the Austrian throne, also in 1740. Frederick wanted Silesia because it had a booming textile industry and loads of coal and iron. Staunch in her own way. What does staunch mean? Kind of. She wasn't happy at all to lose Silesia, and she constantly threatened Frederick II over the matter by gathering the sympathy of neighboring countries. Frederick got nervous about who was joining against him, so he started a 3rd war over Silesia in 1756. He had already laid claim to it, but he wanted to secure his claim, and he marched through Saxony. Okay, so let's look over here. Here's Saxony. Right there. So he's got Silesia, but she wants it back. Was she the monarch of Austria? Yes, so here's Austria. This is her country. But do you see why it's kind of difficult? Like Silesia is kind of, I wonder, it's kind of far away from her.
I know.
And so he marches through Saxony, or maybe these were all a part of Austria. I don't know. She doesn't say. He marches through Saxony.
So, Mama?
Yes?
I like these sort of things when there are wars and people conquer other places. They try to conquer other countries.
So Saxony did not belong to him. His confidence came in part from the army of giants he inherited from his father. This army was built of 100,000 men who each stood over 6 feet tall. So if you had to be over 6 feet to be in the army. These men were recruited for their height, and so the saying went of a mother to her son, "Don't get tall or the recruiters will get you." Frederick II was only 5'6". He's my height, although I'm a little smidge taller than 5'6".
You're 5'3". You're 5'6".
6.25.
It's like 3. So it's like a quarter.
A quarter of an inch, 1/4 of an inch. And so naturally his army appeared more intimidating when they stood at attention near him, because because he was standing near them, because he is shorter than them. It made his army look even taller, because it's like this one guy with this huge army behind him that's much taller than him. When Frederick II started the Third War over Silesia, it grew into a much bigger war. The big one would last 7 years and include half of Europe, as well as North America and India. Unfortunately, we won't get to India today. We call the part of the war fought in Europe the 7 Years' War, and the war fought in North America was called the French and Indian War. Some of you have already studied the French and Indian War in American history. You may or may not have realized that it was part of a much bigger war, but that's okay. My job as a world historian is to pull the wars together. It's really quite fascinating. So we're still in this section. We haven't finished, but we're going to stop there for right now, and we'll move on to the 7 Years' War in Europe tomorrow. We're going to stop now and just kind of look at some of the scientists. And we'll stop our little audio recording now and look at some of the scientists in our next recording. What's going on at the same time in the science world as is going on with 7 Years' War, French and Indian War. All right, ta-ta for now.